I've got to send something to the Dungeon Minister! Hello and welcome to the Bat and Barrow and a terrain project and an encounter that I'm writing that I'm going to be sending over to the Dungeon Minister. We decided to do a little encounter, mini adventure exchange, and I'm way behind, as usual, in my life. But this video is going to chronicle the building of the terrain project for an encounter that I had for him. The actual terrain build itself is not the important part of this video, really. I wanted to build, it's going to be a puzzle room that's going to be locked, and you have to get a key, correct key code to unlock the door, and the key code is going to be entered by turning these wooden stone columns in a box thing that's going to be on the plinth. But so I wanted to make a sort of full-size prop version of that, so his players can twist the columns and set the key code and show it to the minister and say, is this correct? Yes, no, cool, and do it that way. So that's going to be the main focus of this build, but we're going to cover the whole thing as well, because there's other little bits and pieces, some challenges, such as I know I've got to post this, so I've got to make some bits collapsible and magnets, so it all fits together with magnets. Do want to add some electronic lights into it. I want to have a wall piece. Normally I just do 2.25D, I guess, because it doesn't have any walls. It's just the floor pieces sort of show where the room is and where the walls are. But this, I wanted to have a wall with a door, and that's the locked door with some lights on. But so that I can't attach, so I need to magnetize it. And I thought, yeah, I'll probably go over the adventure at the end. About my thoughts of what this encounter is. If you haven't watched the video where I go over hit the package from the Dungeon Minister, go and watch that first, because then you can see what he sent me, and it's way better than what I'm sending him. Unfortunately, man, that was really professional. I love that. Anyway, on with the build. First thing I want to do is get the standard part done, which is just building the base floor tile, which I've done on this channel so many times. The difficulty is the size. Now I'm posting this overseas, so I don't want it to be too big. So what I'll probably do is have a look at the package I received myself, which will be delving into this quite soon, and just have a little rough measure, because this could be a nice floor size. So let's make it 12 inches by 9? 12 by 9, that could be a good size. I will be making, that to one side, I'll be making the floor out of the foam that's available to me. Be this stuff here, XPS, and it's 10mm thick. Now, looking at these tiles that I've seen in the Dungeon Minister's videos, they are slightly thicker foam. Now luckily, I won't show you too much, I don't want to spoil what's in here too much. He sent me, the packaging was bits of foam, American and Canadian foam, and I'm loving it. One, this foam core here, it peels right off really easy, and it's really nice stuff inside. Two, bit of foam, which I don't have over here, it's a smoother surface on the top compared to this old rough stuff, but it gives me a little height, so it's not quite the same. I will be putting sort of a milled chipboard on, so it's going to have a step down, but that won't be too bad. You know, it looks like you're stepping into a room if you use tile, so I can live with that. Hopefully Father Aaron can too. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is just get the standard bit you've seen done a million times. I'm going to cut a bit of foam to size, texture it, put a grid on, stick it to some chipboard so we can leave that to one side, and we can concentrate on the more interesting bits of the project. The one thing that is different to my normal tiles is this will have a wall section, so I want to put a door here, so I'm just going to put some foam that is the same width along here, and I'll wait for that to dry. Just need to mark out sort of the height of the floor. Cool. so I can carry on letting the floor dry and work on the wall. It's not going to be this high, but I need to work out where the door is going to go. So this wall piece will have a door that I'm going to use these Hurst art sort of arches for. So what I'm going to do is attach them to some chipboard. I'm going to need to fill in the central bit. Yeah, I'm going to attach them like this, and then worry about this bit later on. That's about all this. I need a wider bit of chipboard, really, ideally, so I'll get that out. So to fill that gap in, my plan is just to jam some foam in, hopefully cut it down. I might put something over the top, shield something, I don't know just yet. So for now, I just want to get it glued in, roughly cut to size. With that cut out, I've put a central line down the middle here just to act as a guide, and 2 markers here for the width of the actual piece. I can put this in, so I've got it roughly in place. Trace around it. So I can take that to the hot wire cutter in a minute and cut that out. Here, I've got a door that I made a while back that I want to use for this. Okay, so let's remove the backing, it's roughly in place, around it. Put some more backing on this now. Cut this out though. Keep that for a future door. Let's get this glued into place. With this height being known now of the door, I can cut the wall to a more sort of sensible height. I can come over to the hot wire cutter, cut out the frame, and glue the door into place using PVA. And what I'm going to do is squidge it in and push it through so the frame runs flush with the wall at the front and you get this awful looking back bit. I will have to do some filling later on and attach this with a glue gun a bit later, but for now I should let that dry. All done, and I've added to the wall a bit, done a wall texture effect and put some stones around the door. Just going to dry brush the walls and floor in a grey. So in an ideal world I would just glue this here, but I've got to post this, so I'm going to have to magnetise it on there. So what I'm going to do is just work out where I want the holes to be. So one at the end here, just going to put a little skewer in here, one in the middle, and then so I'm going to do 5. I think it's going to end up being. That should be enough to hold it in. So I just skewed holes in. Okay, I'm going to cut some bamboo skewer, and I'm just going to cut bits out of it. Bamboo skewers are quite tough, but a bit of force and you'll get through it. About just that big, not too big. Going to need 4 for the actual build. These are going to be used in the build, but this is also going to help me put some magnets into the walls in a minute. So for that, I think I'm going to do 5. Just hold it in place. So I'll cut a load of these up. You don't need to watch me struggle to do this. Those bits here we'll just cut that will be used later on. What I want to do is just poke these in. These are where the magnets will be. I'm using 2 different types of magnets for this. On this side here, because I can go in further this way, I can use some fairly chunky magnets. These are going to be 10mm, so those go in here. But on this side, I don't want to poke through too much, just in case I damage it. I suppose I could. I'll see. I was going to use the smaller ones that I would normally use. But either way, I need to know where to put them. So that's what this is doing. So now I've got these little bits in here, and foam here. So I'm going to hopefully just do little impressions. So I'd stand up like that. That's what I want. Little impressions. I may have made that one too high, so I may go down that. But yeah, I've got impressions here. So roughly where I can. So I'll pull these out, put these to one side because we'll be using 4 of these again later on. The thing to make sure is polarity is the same, so I'm just going to put this in here. So what I'm going to do is going to warm up my hot glue gun, and we're going to glue them in. The reason I want to use chunker ones here as well is it gives you a bit more wiggle room. They're not perfectly lined up. Do one side first. Now, I'm not too sure whether I'm gonna just use some chunkers here. If I go through too much, it's going to bust out the back. Whereas these ones, I think I'm going to go for the smaller ones on this side. Okay. Okay. So, going to bung a load of hot glue into the hole, and pop the magnet in and just hold it there until the glue dries, pushing it in as far as I can. You don't want it to pull out just yet. Okay, so it's in there. I need to come in with one of the smaller magnets, let it find its way. I've already come in, I've already got a hole pushed in, and that's how I'm doing it. So I'm going to push it in, hot glue upon the other side, let that dry out, and already that's in there nice, but it should, once the glue's dry, pull away. Magnets here, magnets there, and that is super solid. Happy with that, really happy with that. It needs to be supersonic, so I do want to put a wee bit more weight on the back soon. So that's not going anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to get on, otherwise I'll be doing that all day. This room, it's going to be a puzzle room. It needs 4 tombs. I've already made these. What I'm using, if you remember, ages ago I did a castle cool world build, and it needed a magic portal. I had an LED magic portal. I made loads of tombs for it. I'm just going to repurpose those. These will be going here. These are just a block of foam. See it here, if you want, roughly 2¼ inches by 1¼ inch. Slightly bigger bit of foam core on the top, and a bit of card on the top, just to give it a foam and painted grey. I'm going to need 4 of these. So I've already got those. These will go here. So now I need to add in and draw in sort of some animals onto these, which will represent a number, which will help work out what the key code is to open the locked door. So my art skills are atrocious, so I'm going to use a pigment liner pen, and it's going to be very stylized. So 0, I'm going to have a 0. So this will just be a snake. Hopefully. Like that. Fill this in later on. My goodness, I'm going to have a spider. Let's have 8. So, I apologise to anyone who is good at art. So. Dear, I feel this is embarrassing. So bad at art. So I'll put that in there on, but hopefully you can see that. So there's that. 0, 8. Got to think things of, and also. My thinking is, if they get the number wrong when they're entering this is what will attack them. So giant snakes, giant spiders. I want a wolf now. So, oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't think about this, did I, when I planned this out? I have to do art. Oh no, I'm trying my best. I apologise. What I want is the oh dear, this is dreadful, because we want the legs in. Yeah, brilliant. This is just, probably paint these in with black paint. And then the last one will be a human, and this could be ghouls, zombie, what have you, but let's just have humanoid shape. All very basic. What I should do is get some black paint out and paint these in. So what have we got? 0, 8, 4, 2. So that will be in a combination of the numbers we shall be using. So for now, I've got some black paint and I'm going to fill these in. Okay, so what I want to do is add some sconce lights to the wall, just either side of the door, just to add a bit of extra detail to it. These are going to be made using a couple of tea lights and a couple of switches that will be sort of super glued to the back super glue, hot glue to the back, so then the flap can be opened without removing them. It's a difficult flap, so it might fall off over time, but wires will then poke through to the front. I'm going to make them about that high. Okay, so that's the plan. They're going to be made from tea lights. Cheap tea lights are great for this sort of project. All we've got to do is take them apart. Hopefully these are cheap. And I'll show you what I mean by cheap. Yeah, perfect. So it's the actual LED itself that does the light. Sometimes more expensive ones I find have a circuit board, so it's just a normal on-off LED and circuit board that flickers it. Something like this does the flickering itself. What I've got to do, yeah, it's even so cheap that the housing is just the leg bent over, so we need to unbend the leg, threadle it through, and then you could desolder it, but I think snippy snip snip snip. So then we can get soldering. So I put the battery back into the pack. I won't be able to, I'm posting these, but I won't be able to send batteries. I shouldn't really post batteries, lithium batteries in the mail about declaring it, and then I want to charge you extra for it. Or at least they do in where my neck of the woods, my post office. I can go that way. The black one's slightly long. Yeah, so the black one's going to be slightly long. Flickering. Okay. Before we do that, take some heat shrink, cut it in half, take a big bit, chop that down just for tidiness. Probably a bit overkill, but put the smaller bits on here. And the bigger bit goes over here. Now if you see my street light video and things like that, this you know what's going to come now, so let's do a test, sanity check test, just so I know. Yeah. Gonna heat up the soldering iron and pre-tin everything. Wow, that took far too long, but it's done. So now I've got the heat shrink wrapped up, pushed up. I can heat it up, hold it in place, repeat the same for the other side. And then slip the larger piece over. It's probably too large really, but right, let's get these glued into place, just roughly working out how high I want them. So you go be here, someone would have to light them, so I guess around here. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and for this, hold bigger here so I can poke the LED through. What we're going to do is make it keep on working the hole until it's big enough to get the LED through. Sometimes that involves just poking the whole tool through, and the back's going to look like a complete mess, but I'm hoping we're going to be fine with that. So what I'm going to do is just, I haven't turned my hot glue on, but I'm going to put a blob of glue in there, and this we're going to attach in the back. Probably like that actually. Attach at the back with a strap. If you've seen the big boat build, I'm just going to glue a strap in, and so yep, the back will look nasty, but it makes hitting the switch easier. Okay, that's stage one. The sconces themselves will just be made from some black chipboard I've got left over, of scraps, kind of sort of cone shape and folded over, and they'll just be glued underneath. So I don't think I'm actually going to glue these into the back. They're in there quite nice, just in case these need to be replaced due to my sketchy wiring. So but the straps can be glued in. Hopefully the glue's dry. Okay, so just get some cereal box card, putting some glue on the back, a big load of it, putting this in place where I roughly want it, and then having this glued in, pushing in while the glue sets. It's just there to hold it in place. Okay, so likewise, sconces are just going to be not glued in place. Do this without burning myself. I want quite a bit of the LED to show. I need to address the LED because it just looks like an LED. In beforehand, I've just used hot glue to make it look like fire, whereas this time I thought I'd use a different technique I've seen, and that is to use some cotton wool so it diffuses it a bit. So I will attach the cotton wool with hot glue as well, so this might actually end up holding the LED in place a bit. But ow, ow, ow. So something like that. It's really difficult to. Let's try and turn some lights off. It's quite difficult to see because the LED is bright, but it looks pretty good to me. I quite like that. Let's do the same for the other side. So yeah, okay, that is sort of, see it there? No, it's an interesting effect by putting the camera on the train piece. I can move around, it looks really weird. But yeah, there it is. So if we turn that off, yeah, you get a nice view of it there. So that is this all done. Now, I'm not too sure the order of these videos are going to go out in at this time of building recording, but I also got a package from the Dungeon Minister with the adventure art that he's done for me, and it came with this. And inside it came with, and it says here, please excuse the unorthodox packaging. Now, I need some, I was going to build it out of foam core, and I don't know why this kind of tickles my very childish sense of humour of this stuff coming all the way from Canada land all the way to England, and then me doing something for it and sending it back. This stuff will travel further than what I have ever done in my life. So I'm going to repurpose this, and as I said, I'm a big repurposer, so I'm going to need very straight bits. So I'm going to grab the foam core. And we'll use that. The base of the plinth is going to be, I'm going to make it 2 inches by 3-ish, roughly. However wide this is. So, first plinth. How wide is this? 3. Look at that. So I'm going to cut this directly down. And here comes, ladies and gentlemen of the UK, how good Americans And well, our continental cousins have it with their foam core. How easy that is to pull off. This hole here, I'm not worried about. Look at that. Grr. I need to oil my chair. I'm going to add a bit of texture onto it, just around the edges mainly. You're not going to see it too much, but ho hum. Next, I want it to be sort of I'm going to have it centered in, so 2.5 inches, I think. Next, by made it 2 inches, so 1.5 inches. Yes, 2.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Don't know how far I'm going up. It might only be a 2-step thingy majiggy. Decided on 3 on the end, so I'm just now going to hot glue this together. Hence why I wasn't worried about that hole. And just eyeballing it in place. Remember the little balsa wood barbecue skewer smidges we cut off earlier on? I'm going to be using those now. So I'm going to grab those, and now 4. I'm going to make there's a puzzle prop. These are going to be, I'll go over it once this is all made, but this will be the puzzle prop, the puzzle piece in this room. And these are going to be cylinders that will be able to be spun round, and there'll be numbers upon them. So I just need to make that. So for now, I'm just going to quickly glue these in place, and I'm going to make a sort of surround out of the foam board. So I'm going to put them sort of towards the front, really. And there. Let's try and work out where I want them. Yeah, okay. This would be the base. That's what I'm going to have to do at Intrepid Band of Adventurers, is enter a key code effectively. That's what we're doing here. So these have to be a 4-digit key code. They will unlock the door. And the nice thing about this is, well, I'm not painting any clues onto the tombs themselves. The clue will be on the tomb. There'll be, the thinking behind it is there'll be a picture of an animal on the tomb. And obviously, if there's any of the Intrepid adventurers watching this, stop watching now. And there'll be an animal on the tomb. Trim that down, that's fine. And you spin each one of these round, correspond to the tomb, to the legs, and get the correct pin. Door opens. So what I'm going to do is create the platform. There's probably a ton of better ways to do this, but okay, so trim that down. Turn this down. Glue them into place. This is going to be made out of a stone material, so hopefully stone material. Yep, and it's going to have a backboard. I'm just going to make out a chipboard, so I'm just going to draw around it. I'll cut that out and glue that in place. So I have glued it in place, and I've already done a lot of it, but I've just taken out some of the corners a bit to make it look a bit more, well, like stone, I guess, hopefully. And I'm going to regret not painting the insides of this before I assembled it, but I shall paint that off camera, because effectively we can now move on to the actual real bulk of this build, the main point of this build, which is to take this here and turn it into a prop that the players can use to actually effectively set the numbers, and then show that to the Dungeon Minister to see if that is correct or not. Yeah, so that is the point of this video. Is why I've been quite rushing through some of the build process, and this is just not really, this doesn't need to be that detailed because they're going to have a prop. So let's make this big. So we're going to make the actual prop of the puzzle piece now, and a while back for a different project I got these, which will be absolutely perfect. These are little foam cylinders, so from China, which also took a while. I've got to stop doing that. It took a while to get here, but these are going to be absolutely perfect. Now my thinking behind this is to get some barbecue skewers, take 4 of these, and ram a barbecue skewer up here so it can pivot, so we can spin on it. So it's going to take, hopefully, difficulty is here. I'm not knowing if I'm going straight and true, which I'm not. Yeah, okay, this could be more difficult than what I thought. So I'm going to come in the other end as well. Where we're coming out from. This may be a case, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to think about this, but that is the general theory. Okay, I'm going to try different things, and what I thought about first of all to try is cutting it in half. So I've measured out half on the guide, and hopefully slowly, steadily, okay, I'm not too worried here because my plan is to smoosh it back together again anyway. Glue it back together. It's going to be coated, so I'll roughly put in, hopefully gouge it in. Just try and hold it here. Glue this back together. Yeah, okay. I'll chop up the others and do the same, something similar. See what I can do. I'm going to hot glue that back together to hold it in place. And that is the general thinking of that. These are going to be placed into a frame, much like the actual one we built for the terrain itself. So, but what I want to do is work out spacing, because you don't want them too close. You've got to get your fingers in there, and we're going to be trying to spin them. I'm going to work on the proviso, that if I can do it with my fat fingers, my fat sausages, then hopefully anyone can. So I'm thinking about that. Far apart for each one. I'm going off camera here, but I reckon something like that. Space here either end, so you can get your spin it around. So that's what I'm going to do. So put these to one side before we do it. Actually, let's have a look. Now I'm going to go for about roughly 1.5 inch gap in between, and I reckon it's going to be a good foot long box. Go over 11, maybe 11 inches. Let's go 11 inches, because the thing is, I have to think about packaging this up and posting it across the pond. It's also going to be probably about 8 inches high and 11 inches wide. And if you heard a purr, that is my cat in the background, who is an idiot. The frame is just made from white polystyrene. I will be covering it. Ideally, if you've got proper XPS, thick XPS, use that. We don't really get it in the UK, not easily anyway. I'm using white foam covering it. I've cut the pieces to size, so it's the right size. The side pieces are effectively the height of these, with a little wiggle room either way. I have sort of done what I did with the terrain pieces. I'll just jagged up the edges in places to make it look a bit more rock-like, but the covering should happen. Should help with that. I'm leaving the back flush because I'm just going to put some chipboard on the back just to pretty it up. And I've worked out where the holes need to go for the cylinders, and I've trimmed up the barbecue skewers so these can sit here. I'm just going to glue it together. I'm not going to glue the top bit in yet, because we will need to coat it, but I just need to work out where the holes are going to go. So I need to glue, at least get it glued in a bit. So hot glue the sides. We'll see why in a minute. It will just help me hold it in place. Okay, that's where the holes are going to go anyway. That's a big help. We can't glue this all in because I need to clad it, but if you can see, I can also test out my theory of, can my sausage hands operate it? And they can. Over to the plastering area. I'll cover these in Mod Rock. Now Mod Rock is plaster on a roll that I pre-cut down into strips and soak it in water for a little bit. Need long, and then just come in, wrap it around the piece and smooth over the holes. Doing the actual main body of it is pretty much the same, except for I'm making a note of where the hole is. Righto, it's all dry. It's been around lovely. I haven't glued this on. So what we can do is get some paint on this now. I'm just going to use a grey paint, some dry brushing and some washes. This stuff will suck up paint like no one's business. It's super absorbent, so it's best to water down your paint while painting this, but just slap some paint on. Get it painted. Next up, a dry brush of a lighter grey just to pick out the raised bits. It's black wash time, Just homemade black wash, simple wash. We need to make a bit more up, but just go over it. One tip for a wash, by the way, I'm getting quite low, is just use dirty paint water, put it in. There's no right or wrong. Add some black ink. And basically you just make it up till you're happy. Referring back to our tombs with the animals on, each one of these cylinders will have the animal number on. So if I have, I'm probably going to do this in paint. If I have, this would be 0, this would be 8. In an ideal world, I would have numbers 0 to 9 going around here, but I don't think I can fit them in and make it clear which way is forward, so I'm not going to do that. But I am going to have a cylinder, each cylinder with the correct number on for now. So we can see that. So that would be the correct code. And then what I can do is add random other numbers on. I'll try and get my best to get as many as possible in. So just 6, and then I don't know, 2, something like that. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add numbers in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers in. I think I can get around these. So you know, we know that's the front. That'd be 1. That'd be 8. So you're not going to get a weird clash of numbers. So that's what my plan is now. So, and again, much like my art, my handwriting is awful. So I apologise for that. Now I want to put a chipboard back in onto the puzzle prop. So it's contained. And this build has been a bit of a, what's going on in the country? The mod rock and now getting chipboard. This isn't the stuff I normally use. It's a bit thinner, and I normally like using black. Ho hum. Does mean I'll have to paint it, but that's just a small minor detail, and it took ages to come. I couldn't find any, and then when I did, it took ages to arrive. I can now assemble this. We've got to put it in place so I can assemble it. So I'll go here, which will hopefully allow me to here, hopefully here, trying to work fast, push down. Maybe I should use PVA for this, but okay, good. And here are our tiny bits, they turn well. Hopefully you can sort of see. So let's say we had snake, wolf, spider, human, and that'll be your code you're going to give. So yeah, 0482, and sometimes you can maybe have the wolf here, 2 lots of wolves if you want to change the code up a little bit. But ho hum, that is it. Right, a painted card. Bits I can glue on now to hopefully protect it a little bit, so I can do that off camera as well. So just on the back here, and with it all done, we can have a look at it in sort of a showcase type form, something different to what I normally do. I normally do it instrumental. I thought I'd better walk you through my crazy mindscape for this. So we've got the wall here with a door in that is locked. No amount of picking, it's like wizard locked. No amount of picking, smashing, whatever will open it. Some cool light here to light the way, but most importantly here we have this set up here. So we have some tombs, and on the top of the tombs are some engraving of animals and people, and there's this plinth with a weird stone thing on top. And when you look at the stone thing, you see some stone cylinders in with numbers on that are able to turn around. This is a combination to that locked door. Now this is up to the DM's discretion who's running this, but you could do it so if they twist one and it's not the correct number, then an encounter comes out of the tomb or is teleported in, or however you want to run it. Perhaps you can have some side doors. You're talking about alcoves on the side if you want to, and the creature comes from there. So what do I mean by creatures? So these on the tomb, this tomb would be a snake, and it's all to do with legs. So this is 0. Here we have a wolf. This is 4. A spider 8. And a humanoid is 2, and I've left this vague because it could be whatever humanoid you want, zombies, orcs, whatever. How do you know what goes to what number? Don't really know. Perhaps the layout. Perhaps you can have the layout. So you can have this one here being this one here being this one here being this one being here, this one as you read from left to right, but you're going up and down. But so if they go to this one and try 0, perhaps this actually opens up and the snakes come out. You don't have to run it as a combat encounter. Perhaps you can just have it that when you try the door there's damage. You know, it's up to you, but the general puzzle is combination needs to be set of 0, 4, 8, 2. So with that set, the door would open, and perhaps this can just be a little fun little pre-encounter to your big boss or what have you. I quite like this. I don't run many puzzle trap encounter type things, and I'm thinking of making my own sort of something like this for my players to encounter myself. But that is it for this video. I'm going to now package this up and send it to the Dungeon Minister. I am awfully worried about this, about how it's going to be received, because my work looks okay in camera, but it looks terrible in person, so it's very nervous. But yeah, that is it. This has been pretty fun. One thing I did like about this was adding in the prop as well. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I am going to get this sent off. Thanks for watching. For the next video, guys, stay safe, take care, bye bye. Oh, one more thing before I go. I'm also going to add in this. This is a Mighty Lancer Bones mystery bag. That's why you haven't seen this once on the channel, because I'm sending it over to Canada. Hey!